I am here for the class on the topic motion. This one is my second class in which we are present to discuss about the topic motion. Before I started or moving to the relevant topic, what we have to discuss today, first of all, it is compulsory that we will know or we will just revise what we studied in my past class. So simply 3 to 4 minute session of the previous studied thing, and afterward I will describe you all the things what I have written on the board. So for the continuity purpose, it's my logic and it's my style or technique to revise little bit the earlier thing what we discussed. So now moving toward the topic, welcome to all of you. If you are not subscribed me, then subscribe Nath Online Classes, Nath Public School channel for getting regular updates. What is motion? What we discussed, that change in position. Motion is nothing but change in position, in which we studied about speed, velocity, etc. and etc. In which I told it to you that whereas speed is known as scalar quantity, velocity is known as vector quantity. This difference between scalar and vector, if in any term direction or position plays an important role with respect to its initial position, it means in that we are just placing or we are just having the role of direction. In such kind of thing is known as vector quantity, in which direction does not have any kind of role, that will be known as scalar quantity. So on that day also I told it to you that the unit of speed and velocity both are same, whereas the for calculating the speed will just calculate the total travel distance by total time taken for traveling of the distance, whereas in velocity we are just counting the displacement from one place to another place. It means the distance between final position to initial position by total time taken, it will be known as velocity. For another example, if something starts like moving this, we are not, for the velocity we are not going to measure all the travel distance, simply the starting point and ending point, the difference between ending point and the starting point by total time taken, that will be considered as velocity. Unit is meter per second, very common. Here first of all might be possible that for 1 marks or 2 marks in the CBSE examination or your annual examination, the teacher will ask that what is the difference between speed and velocity? What is the difference between speed and velocity? So here I wrote 3 differences. First one, speed is a scalar quantity, velocity is a vector quantity. First one, speed is a scalar quantity, velocity is a vector quantity. Second one, speed is equal to distance by time taken and velocity is equal to displacement by time taken. So here we are seeing 2 different terms. For finding out the speed, we have to calculate the total traveled distance by total time taken, whereas for calculating the velocity, we are just finding the difference of distance between final position and initial position, what we understand with that example. So that one will be considered as displacement by time. Third one, it is very common that if direction is not countable for finding out the speed, it means the speed will always in positive term. The speed will always in positive term. But here for velocity might be possible that it will be negative. Why? Because if on a distance line, if the object will move in the back direction, if object will move in the back direction, so definitely according to number line or measuring line, the unit will be displacement will be in the negative form due to with respect to direction, and so by time we will find out in the negative term. So here I wrote that velocity is always in positive way term, and speed is always in the positive term, whereas velocity might be in negative form. Might be possible that the unit or that the numerical value of the velocity will in negative form. Why? That if the initial position is this and the object will move in the positive direction or in the forward direction, it will be countable like from 0 to 5, so 5 minus 0 by total time taken, whereas in the backward direction, so 0 minus 5 by total time taken. So might be possible that velocity may be in the negative. Now after studying speed, velocity, the third important point is acceleration. Because now just imagine what I said it to you, that first we studied about distance, we know the term about time taken. In velocity we discussed about displacement, afterward speed, distance bata time by time, velocity, displacement by time, and now afterward we'll move toward the next point, acceleration. Because speed or velocity is what? Distance or displacement by time. That will come in form of v and r. Now we'll compare the change in velocity. Now we'll compare the change in velocity with respect to time. It means what? Again, if we'll find the difference of change of velocity and we'll divide it by total time taken, that the term will be known as acceleration. That will be known as acceleration. So acceleration is nothing. If you have to write in an examination that what is acceleration, in very easier manner we can write a single line, that the change in velocity with respect to time is known as acceleration, Here the symbol of acceleration is always a, what I wrote, a small a. Now what I told it to you, change in velocity. Now for an example that we discussed at point A, point B. This one is the initial point and this one is the final point. So here, if the velocity of any object is 2 meters per second and here at final point 2 meters per second, just watch carefully, and if you are not getting the signal properly, there is no need to worry at all, because I will upload the YouTube link on the group also. You can hear me again and again. So but why I am just repeating the line, because by this example you can easily understand the definition of acceleration. Yes. So here again I am repeating that we took 2 points A and B. A is known as initial point for any object, B is known as final point for that object. Now we'll put a value of velocity 2 meter per second at point A, which will be known as initial point, and 4 meter per second at point B, which will be known as final point. And for moving from A to B, just imagine that total time taken is 2 seconds. Total time taken is equal to 2 seconds. Yes. So now, on the behalf of this, if someone will ask you a question that what is the acceleration of the object? What is the acceleration of the object? So, for that, what we will do, what I told it to you, according to definition, change in velocity with respect to time. So here, the final velocity is 4 meter per second, initial is 2 meter per second. So we will find out the difference. So 4 minus 2 meter per second by total time taken. What is the total time taken? 2 seconds. So 2 by 2 meter per second by 2 seconds. 1 meter per second square. Second square. So by the example of this, I am easily able to explain you that how the calculation will take place, final minus initial by total time taken, and how the unit of acceleration is meter per second square, because the unit of velocity is meter per second, by unit of time is second. So meter by second into second is equal to meter by second square, ms to the power minus 2. Will write मीटर प्रति सेकंड स्क्वायर को हम लोग ms minus 2 भी लिख सकते हैं. So this one is an unit of acceleration, and this one is the method for calculating acceleration. So these things, by the help of this formula, now you can solve for the finding out the value of acceleration for any object, where here some important terms are there which we are going to rememberize, that acceleration should always in the term of small a. Initial velocity, whatever at point A, the initial velocity will always be represented in term of u, a small u. The initial velocity, if any numerical question, the question will be in the form of theoretical manner and you have to write in the form of term. So for acceleration we'll write the symbol of a small a. For initial velocity, we'll represent initial velocity by a small u, meter per second. Final velocity, a small v, meter per second. So according to the formula of acceleration is equal to a is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity, v minus u by t. V minus u by t, whereas the total time taken for that change in velocity is a small t second, so we'll count at t. Now the solution will be in v minus u under the bracket meter per second by t second s. Afterward, meter by second into second, meter by second square. Hence the unit of acceleration is always meter per second square. Okay, now you can easily understand that how and by the process of which we can obtain or we can get the value of acceleration for given any kind of example. For that, according to NCERT syllabus, I took an example of 8.2 because chapter 8 is known as motion. So in that, if we will go to the page in the chapter 8, you will see an example under 8.2 in which what question is there, that on a odometer means calculation of distance in numerical manner, whatever in the car is there, odometer, by which we can easily see that at what is the total running kilometer. So that one is known as odometer, and in the above side for giving us the speed, that will be known as speedometer. Yes. So according to the question, because might be possible that for 1 marks question, what is odometer? So calculation of distance, measuring distance in the car or in any vehicle. Yes. So in if a odometer reads at the starting of the trip, like it shows the value 2000 kilometer, and if a man started, or if a man will start traveling from one point to another, what happened that he completed the journey. Whereas he completed the journey, he saw that the odometer is showing the distance 2400 kilometer, and after seeing the time taken by the man who is driving the car, the total time distance is equal to 8 hours. It means what? In 8 hours of time, a man travels from 2000 to 2400 kilometer. So here we have to find out the speed. Here we have to find out the speed. So formula of speed is there. Speed is equal to distance by time taken. Distance by time taken. So here, according to the odometer reading, what we will do? We will find the difference between ending point and the starting point. It means 2400 kilometer minus 2000 kilometer. That will come is equal to 400 kilometer. That will come is equal to 400 kilometer. Yes. Now speed is nothing but just equal to distance by time. So distance will be 400 kilometer and time will be 8 hours. So the speed is equal to 50 kilometer per second. Here in the question you will see easily that the questionnaire just is trying to make a twist. What twist? He just asked it to you that convert that 50 kilometer, or in the manner that write the speed into kilometer per hour and meter per second. It means what? According to the unit given, we will easily get 50 kilometer per hour. So for getting 50 kilometer per hour, we are not supposed to do anything simple. We have to put all the values on the definition and we have to just calculate it, and we will get it that 50 kilometer per hour. Now the important thing is how we can convert kilometer per hour into meter per second. So for that, here you can see that I did not do anything. Simply I converted kilometer into meter. In 1 kilometer, we know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter. 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter. Yes. So 50 into 1000 by, here the time, unit of time is hour. So in 1 hour 60 minutes, 1 minute 60 seconds. So we will divide it by 60 into 60. Yes. So simply we did what we did, 50 kilometer per hour. First of all, we convert 50 kilometer into meter for meter per second unit and divide it by hour to second. So for 1 hour, what will come? 60 into 60, 3600 seconds. So now the unit will change from kilometer per hour to meter per second. And after calculating all these things, we'll get that the result final value is equal to 13.9 meter per second. So the speed is equal to 50 kilometer per hour in km per hour unit and 13.9 meter per second in meter per second. Now from my side, a tricky solution, a very tricky and smooth solution, that here I wrote, if in any given unit, if you have to convert kilometer per hour to meter per second, if you have to convert kilometer per hour to meter per second, so for examination point of view, don't put into 1000 by 60 into 60, because due to having tension in the examination, might be possible that your calculation will create some problem for you. So for that, I am just giving you a simple formula which is capable or able to convert kilometer per hour to meter per second and meter per second to kilometer per hour. So to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second, simply we will put the value what is given in kilometer per hour. Like for an example, if anything, one value is there, 118 kilometer per hour. 18 kilometer per hour. We will simply take 18 and just multiply it by 5 by 18. What we did? Simply multiply it by 5 by 18. 18 we will cut. 18 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 meter per second. Means whatever the magnitude is there with kilometer per hour, we will take the magnitude and we will multiply it by 5 by 18. Whatever the value will come, that will count as meter per second. And if like another reverse question, that if we have to convert meter per second, if we have to convert meter per second to kilometer per hour, so again we will do we will use a logic by which that for an example, that if in a question like somebody give it to me that convert 10 meter per second to kilometer per hour, 2 km per hour. So what we do? 10 into just reverse. For converting meter per second to kilometer per hour, we'll just reverse back into 18 by 5. So that will be equal to 36 kilometer per hour. So here with the example of this and this, I am easily able to explain you that how easily we can convert kilometer per hour to meter per second and meter per second to kilometer per hour. Again I am doing revision that if magnitude is given in the form of kilometer per hour, we will take the magnitude and multiply it by 5 by 18, multiply it to with 5 by 18. That will be the value, whatever the value will come, that will be in meter per second. And if the question or if the magnitude is given in the form of meter per second and we have to convert it into kilometer per hour, we will take the magnitude and multiply it by 18 by 5, and whatever the magnitude will come, that will be equal to kilometer per hour. So this one is the simple process by which we can easily understand that how we can convert kilometer per hour to meter per second and meter per second to kilometer per hour. So up to now, including today's class, we discussed about motion, circular motion, distance, displacement, magnitude, positive term, negative term, acceleration, initial velocity, final velocity, time taken, how to find out speed, how we can calculate acceleration, how we can convert kilometer per hour to meter per second, and how we can convert meter per second to kilometer per hour. So up to now, I am hoping that I explained lot of things in past 2 days. So it's better for you that after getting the YouTube link also, just listen me 2 or 3 times, because science is a very conceptual thing. You can't understand without understanding them. So just listen again and again. Again, last, it's my request to you that subscribe Nath Public School, Nath Online Classes for getting regular updates. Now those who are listening to me, I am having a Bonjana offer for them. Class 9th